Hey everybody, it is the MTG Arena State of the Game article time again. Every month, Arena writes, the Arena team writes an article about changes that we can expect immediately and in the future for our MTG Arena game. So I'm going to read through this article. I've not read it yet. If you've already read it, I'm sorry that you have to hear it again, but I'm going to read it out loud because I really haven't consumed it yet. So you're going to get my on-the-fly responses to this article, which I will hear. I'll link in chat if you all want to follow along. But I'm going to switch to that view and get going. All right. Performance check-in. As we've done with our two previous State of the Games, we wanted to start things off by touching on our progress with performance improvements. This month will be a little shorter than previously, as our November game update showed significant improvements in all the areas we are currently monitoring. I'm going to skip this. They're trying to make performance better. Keep it up on that front. Brawladays. Last month, we also talked about balancing the desire for more on-demand play, while also ensuring that there are different and exciting experiences every time you play. However, when it came to all the play modes and formats that MTG Arena currently supports, there was one format in particular that has been at the forefront of something that players would like to see more of. We're introducing a Brawl event with a one-time entry fee available from December 12th to January 16th, so a month plus of solid brawling. For 10,000 gold or 2,000 gems, that's a little more than the cost of it's like 2 or 3 drafts, depending on which kind of draft you enter. So for the cost of a couple of drafts, you'll get into the event and receive one copy of a card we are adding to Brawl. Okay, so you get a card. If that's worth it to you, that's something to factor into that value. I guess it's there's a risk. We'll get to the card, I guess. This is our first experiment with a long-term event in a pass style like this, so we're already planning to make some iterations based on player feedback and participation in the event. Ultimately, our goal is to do more events like this with Brawl and potentially other formats in the future. Let's talk about the event structure. Brawladays. So we've talked about event record, none. So you're just playing, so they're not tracking record. It's just it's a pass to a room, basically. Once you've joined the Brawladays event, you'll have access to a Brawl queue that will let you play against others all day, every day until the event ends. For everyone else, you'll still have a Brawl queue available every Wednesday, and you can still play against your friends anytime using Direct Challenge. But the event structure isn't the only thing we're experimenting with. Here's the card, Riz the Redeemed. For our Commander aficionados out there, this is probably a familiar face, which is exactly why we're adding Riz the Redeemed to MTG Arena for play in both Brawl and Historic. In Brawl, you'll be able to use Riz the Redeemed as your commander or slot him into any decks that shares the appropriate color identity, which would be white-green. We know this deviates from Tabletop Brawl, which will remain standard only, but just as we are with Historic, we're working closely with R&D to find ways we can expand MTG Arena's available card pool to bring more fun and exciting experiences to our game. Players who join Brawladays will receive a copy of Riz the Redeemed after earning their first win in the event, and Riz will also be craftable using wild cards for players looking to complete a playset for Historic play. Okay, so what do we think of that? It's a money grab. Everything Wizards does can be described as a money grab, though, so it's a pretty lazy way to express things. They're trying to incentivize players to use a variety of queues, and they're trying to monetize the work they're doing, right? Implementing Brawl costs money, implementing cards costs money. They want to get paid for it rather than just giving more free ways to play. I don't think this is an unreasonable thing, since you do get a card out of it. It's a little expensive at two drafts worth. I don't know. I kind of like just using, there's a website around that. I'll try and find the link. Let's see, maybe somebody can find it and put it in chat, but there's a site that helps people find people to play Brawl with. Here it is. It's arenabrawl.net. So one way you can do, if you're an arena player, if you're a Brawl player and you don't want to put up with this or do this plan, oh, thank you, Raptor already put it there. You can use Arena Brawl Net to try and find pairings to play Brawl, because you may just find having Riz the Redeemed isn't worth the expense, but you know, it's not that, like, if you love Brawl and have a couple of drafts worth of resources lying around, you can do it. It feels a little weird though, right? Not just offering the ability to play this casually whenever you want, only offering the casual play on Wednesdays. It's a very weird system, but ultimately Wizards is feeling around in the dark on a lot of this, in the sense that they are trying things out and they're seeing what the player reaction is. And honestly, I just say vote with your money and your time. If this is worth it to you, if money's no big deal to you and you just love the convenience of a queue, because that is nice. Like, you don't have to find a friend. You don't have to use the website, Arena Brawl or whatever. You don't have to wait till Wednesdays. You can just cleanly and simply play Brawl all you want all the time. But if you want to fight the man, fight the power, fight capitalism or whatever, you can resist and not pay for this and play Brawl without paying in different ways. But ultimately, Wizards is just looking for ways to squeeze money out of the product they've made, which is what every company is trying to do. So I don't resent Wizards for that. I just say, understand they're seeing what sticks. They're trying stuff out. If you like it, vote by buying it. If you don't like it, vote by not buying it, and Wizards will get that fiscal message either way. Yeah, again, Steven is talking about how Standard kind of self-monetizes through rotation. Non-rotating formats are tougher to monetize. And granted, Brawl technically is a rotating format because it's Standard legal, but it's harder to monetize than Standard for sure. So they're just trying to do that. All right, let's move on. Historic. Speaking of Historic, let's talk about what changes are coming with the December game update and what plans we have for this format going forward. Since the introduction of Historic Anthology 1 and the launch of our Historic Ranked queue, we've been keeping a close eye on both the queue health and the meta as the format begins to develop. While we're fairly happy with both the diversity of decks and how the new cards have helped shape the meta, we've identified a few problematic cards to the format, and we plan on suspending with the December game update. And if that sentence makes you furrow your brows in confusion, it's because we are also introducing the concept of suspending cards in Magic the Gathering Arena. From a gameplay perspective, a card that is suspended will not be legal and therefore unplayable in a format, but our intention is to be more flexible with cards that are suspended, and when compared to be more flexible with which cards are suspended and when, compared to more traditional bannings. Suspensions will be a temporary measure lasting for a Historic ranked season, at which time we will either remove a card from the list or move it to being fully banned. So it's kind of like purgatory for problem cards. So Oko, Field, Once, and Veil are suspended. Okay. Historic events. There's a whole other article on this that I'll let you read if it's a big thing for you, but I'm going to move on to the next section. In addition to our Historic traditional ranked events, they were looking to provide more ways for you to enjoy Historic as a format in the upcoming weeks. So it looks like there's a special queue from December 20th to December 30th, 10 days, common and uncommon Historic. Win 5 for card styles, win up to 5 for different card styles. Okay, and then what's it cost? 500 gems, 2,500 gold. Again, it's like, I certainly don't mind them selling cosmetics through play queues. I think this is fine. Saying, hey, if you want these card styles, you're going to have to pony up and play in this event. It's not a huge cost. It's classically kind of like they're just trying to nickel and dime us and keep our resources on the lower side in our accounts. I don't think this is an oppressive economic model or anything. It's a fair offer of bling and experience for some nominal in-game currency. So this sits fine with me. Then Dominaria ranked draft. Woohoo! So this looks like they're trying to help seed Historic while also bringing back a super popular draft format. So we'll be drafting that on stream for sure. I won't even need to pull it. I love Dominaria draft, and we'll be making sure we do some of that at least. Historic Challenge, January 11th through 13th. We will also be introducing the Historic Challenge, a constructed best of 3 event with a high entry fee and prizes to match. Okay, so a challenge, this is a more spiky payout. You know, one of the tools you have in game design is how far apart are the prizes for your lowest prize and your highest prize. And when you make a big gap, you incentivize spiky players to go for the big prize versus a small gap that kind of spreads the love out from everybody who's playing, basically. So it looks like Historic Challenge with this structure is going to be a big win, a spiky payout. It looks like Gaia's Cradle coming to Historic. That must be the implication there. Is it already there? Maybe I'm not thinking about it and it's already there, but... Oh, card sleeve. Sorry, not card. I saw a card and thought that they were bringing, which seemed remarkable, that they would like go with something as broken as Cradle in to bring into Historic. I was going to question that. You're sure you're working with R&D? You know, but it's just the card sleeve, so that makes some sense. Okay. So if you're spiky, love Historic, you can do that. Deck sorting. Yeah, I've had this is something I've been calling for. If you're going to give us a million deck slots, you got to give us better tools to manage them. I would like this for basic lands too. Some way to manage basic lands better. As we continue to expand on the variety of events and formats that MTG Arena is looking to support, we're aware that it has become quite daunting to keep track of which new deck is your new deck versus the new deck that is your Brawl new deck, when actually the deck you were thinking of was imported deck 3. Yes, thank you. A lot of confusing stuff in this UI. Deck naming aside, starting with the December game update, you'll be able to sort your decks by format, color identity, alphabetical, or last modified. Last modified is the big one, right? This was the missing piece. I could never find my deck because I just wanted the last thing I touched to be up top. So I'm happy to have this. And yeah, it would be nice. I'm not sure how robust the search algorithm and search shortcuts are, but it'd be nice if they made that robust. Pretty short one. Not a super dramatic monthly article here. Cleanup phase. The December game update is only a few short days away, blah, blah, blah. All right, so that's basically it. So the big controversy is they're charging us to play Brawl. And I don't know. It doesn't hit me quite right. But I don't think it's a torches and pitchforks kind of thing. It's a recognize that a company is trying to figure out how best to monetize the various offerings they have. They're going to be trying different things, and you're going to be voting with your time and money, and they're going to adjust accordingly. So if you're totally offended by the way they're approaching monetizing Brawl, have the discipline to not reward them with your purchase, and they'll hear that. They will. And especially if you do a lot of Brawl via friend challenge, you know, let them show them that Brawl is in demand, but that you're doing it via friend challenge because you refuse to play by their rules on when and how much to pay for it. So, yeah, if you're offended by Brawladays, vote with that wallet, and the message will be received. Right. All right. I'm going to switch back to Soapbox, take some quick questions if there's any follow-up questions, and then we're going to get our friend Jay on for some constructed time.